Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, we so much colonizing Mars right now, but we don't colonize them. We're gonna have, factories. When we getting them slaves in that red dust. We're gonna have Edomites. They're becoming red in that red dust, man. God.
And it says, Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
Every man heard them speak in his own language. Yeah. So that means you had a myriad of Jakes all over the show. And they'll get into myriad, they'll speak in all kinds of languages, holding down all kinds of customers, man. That's what Jake's been dealing with, man. And the thing is, that's something which isn't new. It happened back in Babylon. The thing is what you have to understand in Babylon, it's like when my man, Nebuchadnezzar, he made that statue, and he said, oh, everyone gonna bow down to it. When the bell rings, you bow down. Now, all them other Israelites, a lot of them niggas would have been bowing down. So they would have just, So they would, and then that would have been the custom, man. You might have a youth there, you see you bowing down to the statue, you just bow to it. You don't know shit. You're meant to, when you're young, you're meant to actually build them up, read them Torah, read Torah. You're meant to, learn them on them Bibles. But that's, obviously that's that. So then you would have had a bunch of Jakes going the hell off, man. Yeah.
Verse 7, and they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans?
Yeah, man, we're like, what? That nigga from the goddamn hood. How the hell he knows? What the hell? They don't even speak Hebrew in Galilee. They speak Hebrew. Like them man speaking what? Bro, man's got the Greeks on lock like that, yeah? God.
And how hear we every man in our own tongue?
Every man was hearing it in their own tongue, man. So that means you had Jews all over the globe, in all these different nations. Mm-hmm. And that's historically goes back to what went down, man. Basically the scatterings, man. And that's a whole topic by itself. Because that's ordained by God. The Jake will going to be scattered to blood there. Gone.
And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea.
Well, it's funny because it's like those Parthians, Medes, Babylonians, they're kingdoms, man. That's why that Assyrian script, Jake got hemmed up in that Assyrian captivity, and some of the northern kingdom would have stayed down, man. It's mentioned a few times we'll mention like northern kingdom after they kicked out. So that means that you would have Jakes, they would have been up in all these different places.
Because you got to remember, man, these places, they weren't destroyed. Rome took them over.
Yeah.
So they're all provinces of Rome.
And Rome,
so you're gonna have Jake moving in between where they can and stuff like that.
And that's why. And you had like you had Jakes that would have been up in the Roman military as well. Yeah. So they would have been getting moved around.
You might even have certain senators in there, guys that were high up in the hierarchy in there, because that's how Jake get down. Some of them in there, and that's what part of what led to the fall of the Roman Empire, and how Jake got up in their seats, man.
Yeah, them fucking immigrants.
That's right. But Jake in all these establishments, man.
Jake is the ultimate fucking immigrant.
And in Judea and Cappadocia, in Pontus and Asia.
Pontus and Asia. And the thing is as well, is what you need to realise is, where is it, man? Where Paul says, I am the apostle unto the Gentiles. I cannot remember for shit. But yeah, Paul was basically, the thing is like, you're following Paul, a lot of these letters are from Paul. He grew up in, you can get, was it 2nd Corinthians, 10? When he says, I am a Benjamin of the Is it 10 or 9? I think.
Romans 11:30
He
says.
says, Romans 11. Okay, Romans. That's the one where he says, I'm an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. But, you know, he's taught at the knee of Gamaliel, all that.
And 2 Timothy.
Yeah, he's also that Roman citizen as well. So basically, he utilized that status to go around these different Roman centers where you had these jakes at, man. Spread that word, using them gifts.
And they were being called, like what I was saying, being called Gentiles, man.
Yeah.
You know, by the Jews in Jerusalem. Because they're acting heathenistic, man.
Yeah, like you got now, what in America? African Americans.
It's a Gentile name.
Yeah, West Indians. You know, Nigerians. You got it, yeah?
I got a precept for you. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2. In fact, start from 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have...
Hold that one.
That's not.
It's like, this will pretty much wrap up the time. Okay, yeah, got it.
Alright. This is Romans 11 and 13.
Oh, you know, do 1 and then we'll skip that one.
Romans 11 and 1. I say then, have the Most High cast away his people?
Yeah,
God,
because all these, you know, what the Jew or Greek, you might be thinking, why? Is he not dealing with the Jews anymore? What's going on? What's going on?
it says, God forbid, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Yeah. So he's also from that.
And it says, the Most High have not cast away his people, which he foreknew.
He's not cast him away, because that's who he's been dealing with all along. The thing is, you go throughout the whole Bible, why is it always talking about Israel? And where's the point in time? Just because it says there's neither. The thing is, it says there's neither Jew nor Greek. That's not even casting out the Jews. That's just saying, oh, there's no difference between them. But then that would, common sense would tell you that means, oh, then Jews are Greeks, then Greeks are Jews too. It's like saying, oh, there's no difference between the Pakistanis and the Indians, you know. Does that make you think, oh, fucking hell. It was a direct hit behind the glasses too. How the fuck? But it says what? You know, he said there's no difference between Indians and Pakistanis. Are you then just gonna say, oh, the whole world's the same? No, I don't fucking mean that, nigga. You need to know the historical context.
And when you go into the word Greek as well, man, you can find it means Hellene, man.
Yeah.
You know, which refers to a Greek-speaking Jew. You know, but he don't know that. That
He
don't
don't know shit.
know that, man.
All he knows is that levitation is witchcraft.
That scripture in Acts 2 and 5, which you read about the different Jews that came from out 4 winds, those would have been Hellenistas because they knew that they were Israelites, but they were of those different, you know,
Yeah, they
living in
came to
different
present
ranks.
themselves. They were still
3 times in a year.
But then you had the ones like Timothy's daddy,
he was
who were just
straight.
gone. What?
And what did
No.
the Lord say himself, man? I come not for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Why were they lost? Because they weren't in Jerusalem, man. They were scattered everywhere else, man.
Them lost sheep,
You know?
they're just, but they're on the street corner, just there, chilling. Give me a break. Okay, go on. Skip down to
Yep. Verse 13. For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles.
yeah. And it says what? I magnify my office.
Right, so Paul's had to go out to these other places to find these Israelites, man. That were scattered, that are lost.
Yeah, because he's got the tools, man.
Man's on the hunt.
You know, he's that Roman citizen. He raised up the knee of Gamaliel. He's basically can speak the Greek, speak the Latin. You know, that's why guys are trying to come up and grab up on him. They're like, oh, art thou a Roman? Man, we're getting messed up, man. They're like, are you not that Egyptian?
Hey, but just
that,
like
he's
us, man,
playing
he's
with
going
them
through the
guys.
spirit, man. He's going in the spirit. Oh, he's speaking the word, just like we're speaking the word to find out who it resonates with, man.
Yeah.
You know, because he ain't got no documents, he don't know who the fuck's he all toggles on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was his lot. That was his lot. He even says in the scriptures, his lot was to go into the way of the Gentiles, man. That was his lot. That's why the Spirit was dealing with him so heavy, and the Lord had to break it down to him on a one-on-one basis with himself, so he could understand what this truth was really about, man.
He had a key role, man.
Yes. It says that he was going to be a light unto the Gentiles. So that light was what this word, man. The light, see how it shine, man.
Yeah, he wanted a light onto baby blue, man. Baby blue, there was no light in it, man. He said, so they speak not according to these scriptures and no light in them, man. That guy was just foaming out of the mouth.
He even tried to say that with us being out here, that shows you that you don't know the scriptures, because the scriptures say that you're going to see your teachers for one, and that we're going to prophesy on the street corners, man, highways and hedges. So he's a clown saying even us being out here is against the scriptures. Like,
Yeah,
that
that's
guy,
very good image.
very good.
Man was talking about levitation. What about when Elijah got beamed up, man, and Enoch? Enoch was loved so much, he was just like, yo, just come back, man. Why don't even let you go, man? It's like, yo, just come
I
back.
suppose walking on water is witchcraft as well.
But then he said he's going to have a dream later on tonight.
Yeah, he's
and then
gonna have a dream. Ow!
you're not going to be in hellfire. Like, he's going off so hard.
So he's going off, man. Man's actually trying to put curses on me.
Yeah, there was no power in that.
There's no part, man, just you're gonna have a dream. I'm like,
Hey,
bro,
man, guys obviously
you're
a
gonna
bug
have a, you're gonna have a dream of that Catholic priest who did such a good job, man. That's why you in that baby blue, man.
Well, he's got a meeting with him in 2 days' time, right? He's got a meeting with the elder 2 days' time. He's going to roll him again.
So, Pastor, I need your lesson.
He's going to be seeing them flashes in his brain. He just bangs out.
Yeah, he's gonna experience the true witchcraft.
Man, guys were eating mushrooms and shit, man. It's hallucinating and shit, man.
Yeah, for real.
Trying to deal.
Yeah, in his room, he smokes a fat zoo, noms on some mushrooms, then he just get I had a dream.
Because he look edgy, bro. He look edgy, you know, like,
He looked like he was shot up some heroin, man.
Look like he misses prescription, man.
It's like what do you call it? Fucking what's that guy, man? In Heroes, the guy that who paint the pictures when his eyes would go white and shit, man.
Yeah.
My man, he used to, bad series back in the day, bro. My man was just, he just gets possessed. He's just there, and paints the future. That's what my man does, man. He goes there, he gets possessed, and he gets some dreams, man. Or he gets fucking handled by, his handler.
I've got a question. What's your question?
No, I was just interested in the 12 tribes of Israel and where they originated from.
The greatest
Judah?
story. It's the greatest story never told. 12 tribes of Israel predominantly come from a man named Jacob. You know about Jacob?
Yes.
In the Bible? He had 12 sons.
Yes.
He became 12 patriarchs.
Yes.
12.
Yes.
So that's basically what this is. The true identity of those people, like all nations still exist to this day, from the beginning all the way to now. And those nations are written of in the scriptures.
Yes.
It tells you, but the one nation that the Most High is dealing with, the Most High they call God, he's dealing with the nation of Israel. I'm sure you know about the Bible, talks about Israel all throughout the Bible. But that's what this is about. It's about the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
On this side, they're the descendants of the true children of Israel, right? They're of the 12 tribes, yeah.
I've never heard it explained. That is the first time I've
Yeah,
heard it
because
explained.
it's the greatest story never told. It's been hidden for a long time. But this truth now is, it's spread around the four winds. So the truth's coming out.
There is another group of people, they call them the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, there's a lot of phonies out there. That's what you got to understand. You got those Israelis in Israel today, Gaza and Palestine and all that. You got those guys over there call themselves the Jews or Jewish. Those are falsified. Revelations 2:9. Those are falsified names that they put upon themselves, man, because they're not of the true descendants of Jacob. Man called Israel. Can't read that.
But you've already got the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, those are the true descendants.
The tribe of Zebulun is here in England.
No, it's not here. We've got scattered descendants of Zebulun here in England, but they're mainly over there in North, South, Central America. Read to Revelation 2:9.
This is Revelation chapter 2 and 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Yeah, the real Israelites will be in poverty. One thing you notice about all these people, they're an impoverished people. Everywhere you go around the four winds, whether it's over there in Central America, South America, you see our people in the favelas and the ghettos, just like here over in London, where you see black people in the ghettos and all that. That's because we're under the curses of those Israelites that descend from Jacob, man. That's in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, we get that afterwards.
It says, but thou art rich.
We're rich people, why? Because we're the children of the Most High. We're the true descendants, and our Lord and Savior even comes from a head tribe, the tribe of Judah. So we got the greatest nation on the planet Earth, man. It's just not speculative. Speculative. It's not wide and known that we're those people.
Do you live in a community?
We all live in communities, but we all live in communities. We're spread thin, But we're coming back as a nation, as the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Starting with the elect, starting the house of David, the tabernacle of David.
But it says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
When you check out that word blasphemy, that means a filthy, wicked lie. So there's a people on this earth going around telling filthy, wicked lies that they're the people of God, people of the Bible, but really they're not. They stole that identity. Someone did Jeremiah 51 and 11. They stole that identity.
It says, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
You've got a bunch of Europeans calling themselves Jewish or Hasidic Jews, you know.
Messianic Jews.
Messianic Jews really goes back to us, though, because we believe in the Old Testament from Moses up until and the New Testament. We cover both bases. But those you know, Hasidic Jews and all that calling themselves Jewish, you know, they're not the real descendants of Jacob, man. They come from Esau, Jacob's evil, wicked twin brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they come from a different line. It's all about nationality over here. It's not about colour. Race comes from the word raza, which means for your own people. So it's about nationality, man. It's not about, you know, we just hate white people, or, you know, we're just single finger pointing at anyone just indirectly for no reason. We got basis of what we're saying, and it's all written down in the scriptures, man. It's all identified in the scriptures.
Okay, man, it was nice to talk to you.
No worries, man.
I respect.
Where are you from anyway?
No, I'm from Ireland. Originally from Ireland.
Well, you know, you can be one of us. You know, the original Irish, the Dubliners, they call them the blacks of Europe, right? Well, you know about the Irish, you know, during the Dark Ages, what they call, Europe was ruled by so-called black people at that time for 1,000 years, from like 325 or even before that, all the way up to, you know, mid 1400s, just you know, Renaissance period. So for that 1,000-year period, you had dark people ruling Europe. You had King James, King Henry VIII, you know, King Richard the Lionheart. Those are all so-called dark men. I know today you see them in the movies and all that, they portray, Robin Hood and all that, they portray them as so-called white people, but that's not so. They were all dark-skinned people, man.
I can read some.
Okay, man.
I got a quick
talking to you.
This is for you. Just
Bless, brother.
this is one more precept.
Bless.
This is James 1:1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
By the way, yeah, 12 tribes that are scattered abroad. So that's one of the pretenses to let you know that our people are scattered within all the nations. It's all about the seed. So our people even come out looking like you, or looking like a so-called Chinese man, but it's not about the colour of the skin.
Yeah. Why
No, it's about the melanin. You got a question?
You understand? You see a Jewish person walk down here shopping.
Anyway, go on, carry on.
I got some. This is Numbers 1:18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
This is all about the fathers. It's about nationality, man. Patriotism, being patriarchs, you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Bless you. I see you man on speakers corner still.
We ain't speakers, come on, we're down there.
No, I saw something off of that, and I saw you was further on Oxford Street, and there was that idiot guy that came. Yeah. I love what you're doing, man. Bless you, man.
Well, you're an Israelite too, man.
Well, my mum called me Levi. You get me?
Well, there you go. You know what Levi means?
Of course,
in
bro.
Hebrew,
12 tribes, man. Come on, bro.
Join on to
Absolutely.
me by the Lord.
Absolutely.
So, you know.
Brother, if I had a tenner, I'd give you, but I've only got my card. You understand? But respect, yeah. I love this.
This is
Respect.
good, man. This is the awakening. This is what we're doing.
Of
Someone
course.
get Baruch 3 and 4 and 37, man. This is the awakening that the Lord was talking about. That's why you got us. Now they got us on the headlines, media and all that. They're trying to defame us and, you know, demonize the name. Trying to make us look bad, but really, all publicity is good publicity, man.
Absolutely.
And the Lord's going to awaken the 12 tribes,
I
144,000.
saw the one where you were in a park and you stopped a few Jewish, like the.
Well, there's different camps, you know. I don't know if you know.
Okay, my bad. But I do know about the brother speaking though. His voice is familiar, so I have heard it. But you man, God bless you, yeah, and guidance, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Bless. Respect.
That's the awakening, man. Jake's waking up, slowly but surely, man. You know, Jake, you know, most of the time Jake's in that fecal mind state of just being a nigger in the world, but, you know, certain times, if you, you know, start analysing, just start thinking about things like, you know, start to put two and two together, but really the Lord's got to be dealing with anyways, right now.
This is Baruch 4:37. Lo, thy sons come, who thou sentest away. They come gathered together.
Yeah, we got sent away for a period. Even in Deuteronomy the 29th chapter it tells you the Lord kicked us out of the land of Israel, man, as a sign of a punishment, man. We would be dwelling amongst all the other nations and acting like the other nations, acting like a bunch of heathens, man. You know, putting paint, you know, like them fucking, that had a Marion going to Kenya and all that shit, or wherever the hell he went. you know, putting paint shit on his face, you know, eating mud cakes and jumping in the air like a damn hammer, man. You know, we was like that at one stage, but we came out of that heathenistic stage and the Lord brought us back to this light, you know, through his mercies, man. Going on.
It says, whom thou sentest away, they come gathered together from the east to the west.
So the Israelites, the elect especially, are going to be coming from the east to the west throughout the four winds, man. And that's why this thing's getting, this media thing, you know, that could just lead to, you know, more and more stuff happening and bust this thing wide open, man. And then miracles are going to actually start happening. People are going to start seeing people getting healed on the street, you know, through the live streams and all that. So this thing's about to bust wide open, man. Tsunami wave of truth, and it can't be stopped.
And it says, from the east to the west, by the word of the Holy One.
By this word, man. That's how powerful this word is. This is the only book, this is the most powerful book on the planet, man. There's no other book. You know? Shall not want her mate. It tells you in the scriptures, man. Any more on that?
It says, rejoicing in the glory of Yahweh.
Yeah, we're going to rejoice in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So Sirach 17:10 says the elect will, you know, call upon the name of the Lord, man. And we're going to be delivered by that name. That's why we have to have faith in those names, man. If thou can tell, not a lot of people can tell, man. This is a hidden secret, but you know the masses are going to find out eventually anyway, man. Because every nation, every person on this planet, every being on this planet is going to have to bow down to the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. That's where it is, man.
This is Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
Yeah, it's a witness, man. So they can't say, no, we didn't know, or we didn't hear that. What's that? Hebrew Israelites. Now you got people, you know, just because of that. Yeah, now you got people all over the news media and all that. Everyone wants to know what the Hebrew Israelites is about, man. You know, you got Washington Post, New York Post. You know, even that guy, Chief Ephraim, even though he butchered certain scriptures when he went for that New York Post interview, you know, these devils don't really want to hear what you got to say, but you know, they're looking for that intel, man. They want that intel so they can butcher us and defame us in the scriptures, man. Defame us before the world so they have reasons to come and persecute us and treat us like the newborn terrorisms on the earth, man. When all we're doing is reading the scriptures, man. We ain't got no weapons of warfare. That's why we're telling brothers, fuck all that, that carnal mindset of, you know, that military mode, trying to bust guns and all that. We ain't about that, man. We're spiritual men. Weapons of our warfare, not carnal, man. We got to stick to the script. And the script is just push this word, prophesy, man. Fuck all the extracurricular activity, man.